The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
Good morning and welcome to Heart Mooresville, your small town radio show with a big heart. I'm your host, Christine Patterson, and we have a special guest co-host this morning, Mr. Mooresville Mayor Chris Carney.
Hey, thanks for having us. Great to be here.
Thanks for joining us today. We're super excited. I feel like this is like show 30 for us, and it's a show about Mooresville, and we have not had the mayor on yet, so I feel like it's about time that we've had you.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we have certainly had a great opportunity to come down here on some other shows, so we just have missed you. So I appreciate you giving me the invite.
Yeah, thank you for coming down. So, if you're new to the show or you're just tuning in, Heart Mooresville is a show about really all things Mooresville, what makes Mooresville unique, helps explain a little bit why we have so many people that want to live, work, play, stay here. The great restaurants. We're becoming a destination for music and festivals and breweries and industry, you name it. Mooresville has really, grown over the past, 5-10 years, but it's really a great time to be in Mooresville and live in Mooresville. And I guess it's a great time to be the mayor of Mooresville too.
It is. It's fantastic. And you hit the nail on the head. Really, I love Mooresville. And I always tell people when I served in the North Carolina Senate, it was probably when I really realized I always had loved my hometown, but as I had to go around and represent people from other areas and really try hard to understand where they're coming from and get things done for them, I kept coming back to the fact of like, I love my hometown.
Yeah.
It really is. It's a great place to live. And, we've been there since 97. So France and I moved there, right after we got married.
Oh, wow.
We got married in 96 and moved to Mooresville in
Nice.
97.
You've been here that long.
Yep,
That's great.
sure have,
So you
yeah.
really are a Mooresvillian.
Yeah, well, a Hickory before that, but yeah, so it was great.
I think we would claim you now. You've been here long
been
enough.
a while,
Longer than me, actually.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So, you touched on a little bit. So, because it sounds like you've been serving for a while now, even before you were mayor. I mean, you served in the Senate, and
Sure.
What encouraged you to do that?
So it's always a story that we've told before, and matter of fact, I told it last night. Somebody asked me about it. I was at the dinner with some of the people from Lowe's, and one of them asked that question, and actually, I just it was in about 2003. I went to a town board meeting, and same reason I loved the town. I enjoyed it. I had no issues. So often people come to me because they're mad about something.
Yeah.
I was happy, and I went and an elderly woman was trying to get something rezoned that her little piece of property that she wanted to make into like a lawyer's office or a dental office or something, a law office or a dental office, and so and she had been put off, and so she had to come back the next month, and she got put off. So by this time I came back to see how it worked out, and then when she got turned down, you could tell she didn't ever get a fair shot at it. And I went and filed my $5 and ran for office.
Wow.
That is exactly what happened. As a matter of fact, one of the commissioners that were on the board at the time always tells people he should be thanked for me being in office because, if not for that night, I would never run for office.
Right.
And he's true. I've always kind of wanted to stick up for the little guy.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of the way I see government.
That's
That
pretty
government can be a bully, and when it is, I find that to be somewhat offensive.
Yeah.
And so I've always come from the other side of that issue. Yeah.
I love that story. I think, sometimes there's a big misconception with elected officials and, especially I think more at the higher level and
Sure.
federal. And, it's so sad because, before I worked for government, I didn't know. And now that I do, I see it. And I think it takes a very special person to want to serve. I think that you all don't get enough credit because of the time that you put into the effort, the true passion that you really have to have for that and
Sure.
wanting to help.
It should be public. And I think what drags the reputation of people who do it down is the ones who kind of treat it as a career.
Yeah.
And it really shouldn't be. As you know, I did, when I was a commissioner the first time around, I had myself on a 2-term limit, which was 8 years max. In the midst of that, Senator Forster passed away. And so then I went to the Senate, and his wife very sweetly had asked if I would be interested. And so I did that. And then I was happy to come back home and see the kids and get back to, a normal job. And to be fair, everybody thinks that like I had this idea that I was going to be mayor someday. And really, I had no plan to.
Right.
I was happy, and you know this because we talked.
Yeah.
There was nothing, and I just got really frustrated with that I felt like we were missing out on some of the things that we makes us so special. And I was worried that where would we be 5 and 10 years from now?
Right.
So that's really what pulled me back in. And again, I have myself on imposed term limits. Yeah, I tell everybody we're going to work really hard, get a lot done, and this is not going to be a career. We'll be here for a few years and then go on back to a normal life again.
No, I've heard you talk about that a little bit, and I like that. I like one of the things I heard you say before you came mayor was remembering that we are here to serve and that we work for the citizens.
We do.
And it's so true. And
we're in the public service business,
right?
Yep,
and some of it all comes back to just customer service in general. And I think it's important for that to become more of a focus. And I see those things happening even over the last year, and that's exciting. I think it's an exciting time to be part of this whole thing going on, but also to be in Mooresville and be a part of that. So yeah, thank you for kind of bringing that back.
And I'm so glad to hear you say that, because that's something I think internally people have noticed, and I think outside the citizens have noticed that's the mantra at Town Hall is we are in the customer service business, and that because you've always been in the customer service business, and you brought that attitude. So I'm sure it was really hard watching others not share that same attitude.
Yeah.
So now that's as you know when you walk in Town Hall, that is the one thing we preach every single day. Yep. So thank you. I appreciate you saying that.
No, I love that. So tell us a little bit about, what you're working on. What are some projects that are kind of, key up front right now?
Well, obviously the road projects get everybody's attention. So the Highway 150 project is moving on schedule for once. It's 10 years behind, but it's on schedule for this time.
On schedule for off schedule.
Yeah. So and actually it might be a few months ahead now. So that's a big deal. Realistically, what people don't realize, we're doing a lot of secondary road projects too, which is really actually the piece that I think they'll feel more impact from, because that's the stuff that gets between you and getting the kids to school and the grocery store, stuff like that. So really excited about that. There's going to be a lot of barrels around Mooresville for the next few years. Right. But, we're building for what, in a blink of an eye, we're going to be 85, 100,000 people. Yeah. We were doing the data the other day, and if everybody who was approved before I even came in, if all of those houses build, we'll be 85,000 people.
And that's town limits or
inside the town limits.
Wow.
And if you take, I always tell people all the time, you take whatever's inside the town limits, you add a couple mile ring around us, it doubles our town.
Right. And we're just under 50 right now? Or
no, we're really about 56, 57, somewhere in that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So realistically, we serve about 120,000 people.
Okay.
By the time you take in the Sherrills Ford and and the Broad School Road Peninsula, stuff like that. So that really that stresses the infrastructure even more.
Wow.
But we are a destination place for people to get by, go to the grocery store, go to the doctor's appointment, stuff like that. And so our police and fire, they've got a lot to do, because that as much as we're a town of that, those people are what they're serving when they come in. People don't, when you bump into each other on Highway 150. Yeah. We don't only serve the ones whose addresses in Mooresville. We got to go to them all.
Yeah, right. And you have to prepare and plan for that growth appropriately.
And that's why we're adding a lot to the public safety, especially police. We want to make sure that we stay the safest community, and that's what people deserve. And so we doubled down on that, and we're up to 127 officers. Wow. And we're going to keep adding, because we're fighting back against, as you know, the pedophile sting we just did. And we got like 19 offenders at that time. And now we're going after fentanyl sting as well.
That's amazing.
Because it's really hurting our community. Yeah.
That is awesome. All right. Well, we're going to talk more with Mooresville Mayor Carney right after a break. We'll be back with Heart Mooresville.
As local as Mooresville, Christine Patterson and Don Smile host Heart Mooresville on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, starting off our Tuesday with a few passing showers possible across the Lake Norman area. Otherwise, we're mostly cloudy this morning, then getting some sunshine back as we get into the afternoon. An isolated shower or a quick downpour still isn't out of the question. A little cooler today. High temperatures climb into the low 80s for this afternoon. Tonight we'll fall back down into the mid and upper 60s for our Wednesday and Thursday. Looking to be dry days of weather. High temperatures in the mid 80s. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
The WSIC app is available now wherever you get your apps, featuring local deals from great local businesses like Greystone Lodge in Boone.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Langtree Live in Mooresville continues their free Thursday concert series with the Rocky Lynn Band on August 15th. Rocky brings his original and patriotic country music performance to Langtree Lake Norman off exit 31 from I-77. Grab your lawn chairs, set up your spot on the grass, eat and drink at the restaurants and pubs of Langtree, and enjoy the Rocky Lynn concert Thursday at 7 p.m. RevFast in Mooresville presents Hot Rods and Hops on Friday night. This monthly gathering for the car, truck, and motorcycle communities begins at 6 p.m. Food trucks and Hoptown Brewing will be on hand for eats and drinks. Bring your classic or new hot rod out and come make some new friends. RevFast Detail Shop in Mooresville presents Hot Rods and Hops on Friday night. The Cookout Monster Truck Bash is at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway this Saturday. Sparks will fly as the metal-bashing 2,000 horsepower machines return for a night of high-flying action on the planet's most diabolical outdoor course. Gates open at 4 p.m. Bring a Cookout Cup for a free early access to the pit party beginning at 3:30. Pit party includes monster truck rides, inflatable slides, bounce houses, face painting, an autograph session, and souvenirs. Opening ceremonies will begin at 7. Visit CharlotteMotorspeedway.com or the CMS app for information and details. Ghostface Brewing in Mooresville rocks their parking lot this Sunday with a concert by Black Glass. Waves Entertainment brings their stage and sound to Ghostface for a show by Carolina's premier rock and roll cover band. The brewery will be open to serve their full kitchen and draft beer menus. Rock the Lot begins at 5 p.m. Bring your chairs for a good seat at the 6 p.m. Black Glass concert at Ghostface Brewing in Mooresville this Sunday. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
Are you concerned about losing your house if you go into a nursing home? Contact Crosswhite Law to learn about protecting your home. Crosswhite Law is here to protect you. Call 704-873-7233. CrosswhiteLaw.com.
Call now to speak with iHeart Mooresville hosts Christine Patterson and Don Smile at 844-STUDIO-4. It's iHeart Mooresville on WSIC.
All right, we are back with iHeart Mooresville. I'm your host, Christine Patterson, and I have a special guest co-host this morning, Mooresville Mayor Chris Carney. Again, thank you for being here. So tell us a little bit about Chris Carney, the person.
Sure. It's always, obviously, Francie, my wife, Francie, we've been together since high school. So started when I was 17, and then she went to Carolina and I went to State, and so we dated after that, and then we got, and then like I said, we did like everybody does. We get out of college, go to Charlotte for a year or two, realize we want to start a family, and we don't want to start it in Charlotte. So we looked at I always tell people we looked at Mooresville and Denver. Yeah, and we picked Mooresville because she wanted a Harris Teeter, and
that's important.
Yeah, it was very important, and they had great schools, and so we did that, and obviously had three great kids. The Rachel and Maddie are twins, are 24, and then Will is 20. They all went to Chapel Hill. Will's at Chapel Hill still. The girls went to undergrad, and then one's in law school, and one is getting her master's in physiology. But now she just also started paramedic school, so she has always been in the healthcare world, and she really loved. She did an internship with our fire and loved it, and so she decided to go to paramedic
Very
school.
Cool. I was going to say master's in physiology. What was her path? But definitely medical.
Yeah. She was thinking PA school, but she so much enjoyed the interaction with just seeing people and being helpful to them. So really, and Maddie's in her last year of law school. So everybody's doing great. I don't get to see them as much as I used to because they're busy,
Yeah, and you're not dealing with all the back to school. They're in college, so you're not dealing with back to school madness this week.
Yeah. We've just sent a small fortune to the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, but it's okay. They've gotten a great education, so we're really proud of them. Yeah,
very
and so
cool.
Francis and I obviously we've been married, so we've been together. This June 30th was our 35 years of dating / marriage. Yeah, not crazy. 35 years.
Crazy. I've been married 17 years.
Well, there you go.
I feel like that's an accccomplishment.
It is.
So
in this day and age, that is an accomplishment.
Something.
Yeah. So we've had a great life. We're really, really lucky. But we have a great family.
Very cool. And twins. How was that?
Yeah, I joke with everybody that I never knew what it was like to have a baby. So, in my late 20s, we went straight to man-to-man defense. Yeah, everybody got a baby. Everybody got a baby. And so, we were very, because of that, I could change a diaper like nobody's business
Yeah.
because you didn't get away with one parent. Yeah, it was,
Very
and
cool.
and the girls and I have a great relationship because we. It's a little something people don't know. So I used to be with Bank of America, and people probably remember who've been here a long time. They did like a I don't know, 10,000 person layoff way back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, way back in the early 2000s. And I was getting transferred down to Ballantyne. I was like, there's just no way. My mental, I could never have gone to Ballantyne
Yeah.
every day. And so I went to my boss and I said, I just don't think I could take that job. So he moved me over to the layoff side. And so I got like a nice severance package. And so
Right.
I got like 11 months or so. So I went home and took care of the girls for 11 months when they were
Wow.
about 2. And
Wow.
oh my
That's
gosh, it was.
awesome.
I will tell people, it's an overused statement, but that is truly the greatest gift is to be able to stay
Yeah.
home, and the hardest job I
Oh,
ever
yeah.
had.
Yeah.
I loved it, but by 11 months, like it was the old Michael Keaton in that movie. My wife's coming home in my shirts like from the day before, and I got dirt on it, and
Nice.
and I'm like, honey, my brain's not working
That will
anymore.
test you.
It will.
Being a stay-at-home parent in general will test
Well,
you.
and I always, my wife likes to tell the story of I just didn't understand that there were rules. Like I called her one time from Virginia because I decided to take the girls on a field trip, and she's like, "You've left the state with our children." I'm like, "Yeah, I picked my mom up, and we're gonna go check out. Like, we're gonna go tour the Eastern Coast." And she's like, "Honey, you got to tell me before you just leave with the kids." I just thought it'd be funny, go out and do something. So, just to spur them on. As you know me, I'm
Cross state
pretty,
lines.
spur of the moment guy anyway. So
Yeah,
that
that's
didn't work
great.
in a marriage though.
That's great. So in your role as our Mooresville mayor, you lead our town board of commissioners. So tell us a little bit about the board.
Sure, and I think I've always kind of been more of the team guy anyway. So coming up as a commissioner, I've always thought of it that way. And then, of course, when you're in the Senate, there's 50 of you, and so I think some mayors do a little bit more of the I side of it. I really
Mhm.
don't. To me, it's really the we trying to figure out how to get everybody moving in the same direction. And one of the newspapers really gave a great compliment of like how well we were working together. And I think that speaks to that where your job is to support your board, and a lot of times people think, you're the leader of the board, and I don't really see it that way as much as it's my job to facilitate, making sure we can get to the places we're trying to get. And you've got 6 different opinions when you're
Right.
dealing with that, and you just have to be very cognizant of the fact that what's important to one is not always important to another,
Right.
right? And I think that's been the best thing that we've done is we come in as friends.
Mm-hmm.
We can have really heartfelt discussions, where people are passionate about something, but then we still walk out as friends.
Right.
And if you can do that, you're going to be successful more than you're not.
Right.
Yep.
That's great. And the mayor really only votes if there's a tiebreaker.
Yep. Yeah. You vote at the tie, and honestly, you're kind of the bridge between the board and staff because
Right.
the mayor, actually is in town hall. As you know, I'm there
Right.
every day.
Yes.
And it gives us the ability to make sure that their agendas are staying on everybody's radar. And as we joke about, I have that big whiteboard, and we put their prime issues up there, and that way, every time when somebody walks in, we can't get away from it. It stares at us every day, and that's why we've been able to get so much done
Right.
these last 6 months. Is because there's no way to run from something when you got to stare at it every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then we recently just hired a new town manager.
Tracy's fantastic from El
Yes.
Paso, Texas. Yeah, she's really more of a Southern Virginia growing up woman.
Ah, me too.
Yeah, and so she's very familiar with this area. But she's did like 10 or 12 years in El Paso, and she was their number 2 person behind. And they're a 800,000 person city on the edge of Mexico.
Right.
So she had lots of
A little
challenges.
different.
Yeah.
Mooresville.
And and I asked that, so funny, when we were in our interview, I said, so tell me, how are you dealing with the different things going on, the race relations, stuff like that? And she goes, well, Mayor, in all fairness, I was connected to Mexico. I think I have a whole different set of a fair
Yeah,
statement.
very fair.
But she is absolutely wonderful, and she's firm when she needs to be. And I tell people she'll hug an employee when she needs to, and she'll kick them behind when she needs to. She is the best I've ever had, and I'm so proud of her.
Yeah.
She's really done a great
Awesome.
job. Yeah, I'm really, really, really. She's made our life much better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
she's doing
great.
a great job.
Yeah, we Mooresville needs all the good people, good experienced people we can get. So it's nice to see some new faces
And she sets
experience.
she sends the right attitude from the top, which
Yeah.
I think it trickles down to everybody else.
Absolutely. So if you've ever watched our show, one of the things that we like to do here on iHeart Mooresville is play games. We call it playing games and taking names.
Nice.
So Mayor Carney, will you play a game with me?
I will, absolutely.
Okay. So the game that we are going to play today is rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you a series of questions and just say the first thing that comes to mind. All right. Are we ready, Joe? Okay. NC State or Tar Heels?
Oh, NC State.
Easy one, right?
Yeah.
Favorite barbecue restaurant?
Lancaster's.
Ooh. Barbecue sauce, sweet or Carolina vinegar?
I like vinegar.
Yeah, everybody from Carolina.
Yeah,
does.
we do.
Best spot in Mooresville for a morning coffee?
I don't drink coffee. I'm a Diet Sundrop guy, so I will tell you that's probably not something I do. Yeah, sorry about
That's
that.
okay.
Yeah.
iPhone or smartphone?
I rather a smartphone, but I carry an iPhone because everybody hated my
The blue. Yeah.
so finally I gave in and went to iPhone.
I hear that all the time.
Yeah.
What do you enjoy watching more, football or basketball?
Basketball.
I would have. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You got your
I love
Panthers.
football. I love football, and I have Panther tickets. But yeah, I love college basketball.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you had a day off, you spending the day on the lake or at the golf course?
On the lake.
Okay.
I like golf, but I really enjoy lake day.
Nothing like the lake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, on a beautiful day.
Plus, I'm rough on myself when I don't play golf like I like to. So the lake's a little more relaxing.
Okay. Favorite annual event in Mooresville?
Oh, that's a great question. I love the Christmas parade. I think it's just
That's
it's just
a classic.
it is. It's beautiful, and I think it really shows our town off well.
Yeah. Hidden gem in Mooresville?
Ooh, that's a great question. Hidden gem.
Maybe a store, a restaurant.
I love the North Carolina Provision Store down on Broad. I
Yes.
think that's a very cute place.
That is a great one.
It doesn't sound very masculine me saying that, but it is. Yeah.
No, it is. It's
Yeah, I
they've
like
got
them. I did a good job.
Lots of different things too, and I feel like that's the only place to go get some local, made items.
Yeah, we try to get baskets for them when we have guests coming in town.
Yeah. Favorite outdoor activity in Mooresville?
My wife would tell you that she wishes that I enjoyed walking at the state park with her. I will tell you more. That's probably where, if we're not talking about the lake, I do. Mooresville Golf Course is just beautiful.
Yes,
Yeah, we've done a great job with that place.
Great
Run
scenery.
great. Luke absolutely is probably the best golf manager in the state of North Carolina.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And Book was just recognized by Open Table for best brunch.
Best brunch Sunday brunch. Yep.
We got
the
good
restaurant
things
there's
going
great.
on.
Yep.
And last question: describe Mooresville in one word.
Spectacular.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, thank you so much, Mayor Carney, for playing rapid fire questions here on iHeart Mooresville. I think we have a couple minutes left. What else do we need to know about Mayor Carney and what's going on in Mooresville?
I just open door policy. If you see me walking down the street or you see a town hall pop in, we have absolutely tried to change the culture of nothing makes nothing makes me madder than all the doors we put between us and the public.
Yeah.
And so some of the commissioners jokingly say that someone's going to come in there and shoot me someday. But I think we go door to door and ask people to give us a chance to be elected by them, and then we find ways to put barriers between us. And I find that to be offensive. So come by, have a seat, let's talk about whatever is bothering you or what you're happy about, and know that we mean it when we say that we're in the customer service business. We're here to help you, and whatever we can do to make your life as great as it could be in Mooresville, that's our goal. And it is a fantastic town.
Yeah.
It really is.
It really is. So many great things happening. So many great things coming.
Yeah.
Well, Mayor Carney,
And
thank you.
it's so funny because then people always get offended, like, "Oh, why are so many people moving here?" Because it's a great place
It's
to
a
live.
good problem.
It is.
Well,
Great
thank you
place
so
to live.
much
Thank
for
you,
joining
too. Thanks
us.
for having me.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
As local as Mooresville. Christine Patterson and Don Smile host iHeart Mooresville on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, starting off our Tuesday with a few passing showers possible across the Lake Norman area. Otherwise, we're mostly cloudy this morning, then getting some sunshine back as we get into the afternoon. An isolated shower or a quick downpour still isn't out of the question. A little cooler today. High temperatures climb into the low 80s for this afternoon.
Hey, Andrew,
Tonight
can
we'll
you
fall
hear me?
back down into the mid
Yeah, what's going on? Can you hear me?
60s for
I
our
can, yep.
Wednesday.
Coming in
and
good, sorry.
Thursday. Look to be dry
You said it was good.
Yes. Sorry, we're doing a quick change out real quick. And
cool, man.
I'm going to put you on the TV so you can see Christine. Just want to give you a heads up. See you later, Mayor. Just want to give you a heads up. the producers will not be able to communicate with you behind the scenes here. So Christine's going to steer the ship, getting us in and out of commercial breaks, right?
Let's go.
I'll leave you muted until we're back on the air, but I'll let Christine talk to you right now.
Let's go.
No, he can't see you. Go back to your chair and he can see you.
Well, I was afraid I hijacked y'all's meeting because I was trying to make sure the lighting was good, and then I clicked in and it like popped me in.
Yeah, no worries. Yep, you're all good. We got a couple safeguards. Yep.
Let's go. Good.
Oh. Do it again.
Hey, Andrew.
All right.
What's going on? Good morning.
Hey. Okay, cool. So I have a guest co-host here, Jaxon.
What's going on, Jaxon?
So it's going to be me and Jaxon. We're going to be interviewing you.
Continues now on WSIC.
All right, and welcome back to Heart Mooresville. I'm your host, Christine Patterson, and we've had a switch up of our guest co-host. We had Mayor Carney. Mayor Carney had to get to a meeting, and now I'd like to introduce Mr. Jaxon Cabe.
How are we doing, everyone?
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. So Jaxon works for our arts and events team. Jaxon, I call him the intern, right?
I guess so, yeah. I just finished up an internship, so.
Yep, at Lowe's. And got offered a job.
Yes, I
Congrats.
accepted my job offer this past week, so
It's very
looking
exciting.
forward to that in the coming year.
Well, I always tell people, sometimes with the younger generation, it is hard to find people that really have the work ethic. And I brag about you all the time. You do not expect that from, 20-year-old, 21-year-old. So we appreciate, the hard work, the focus, the determination that you have.
Definitely, I appreciate that.
All right. Well, we also have a special guest that has joined us virtually all the way from Nashville, Tennessee in the recording studio, Mr. Andrew Beam. Welcome.
Good morning from Tennessee. How y'all doing out there?
Doing great.
So, Andrew, we are so excited to talk with you. We have a show scheduled. You're coming to Mooresville on September 6th. Andrew is actually going to play at our Rock the Park outdoor concert series at Liberty Park. So that show is September 6th. and it is 6:30 p.m. Although food trucks, breweries, vendors will be out there early at 6 o'clock. So join us earlier. Come get your drink, your good food, and enjoy an amazing show. This show is a little bit different because this is the first time that we're actually having original music at our outdoor concert series. So we are super excited. Obviously you'll do some covers, but you are a songwriter, you are country music artist, definitely have your own songs, which we'll talk a little bit about in a minute. But, tell me a little bit about how, you got into country music as a career.
By complete accident, to be honest with you. I played guitar since I was 11 years old. My dad was actually from Concord. I was born in Statesville. I claim the mountains as my home.
Nice.
My dad's a preacher, so I grew up in Cashers. So I say my hometown is Cashers, North Carolina. Been playing bluegrass from an early age, but I never really, it always should have been the answer, but I never was really wanting to do that for a living.
Yeah.
Actually, I went into law enforcement, and I was a game warden down in Charleston, South Carolina for a couple of years.
Wow.
Most people know law enforcement, there's not a whole lot of money to be made in it. And not that
Yeah.
you do it for the money, but I started playing guitar to make ends meet, started pulling people over, and they recognized me from the show. They said, "Man, you're that guy that plays real country music." And that's cool, man. You have a fishing license? And that's kind of where it started. And even my coworkers at some point were like, "Man, you've got to go chase this dream. There's something there."
Wow.
So I left DNR as a game warden in May of 2018, doing things completely different. I'm a countrypreneur, if you will.
A countrypreneur. I love that. A countrypreneur.
Everything from graphic design to booking, QuickBooks, you name it. And it's a lot, but I love what I do. I record in Nashville. I'm up here this week recording a couple songs, writing a couple songs. I play tonight. I play around. If you're in Nashville, I play at the local tonight at 7 o'clock. And then I shoot back down to South Carolina for 3 nights in a row this week as far as the shows go.
Wow.
And really looking forward, though, to coming to see y'all. It's been interesting because I have a lot of Charlotte following, but I haven't been able to really break into that market yet. So really looking forward to taking the band up there and seeing y'all in Mooresville on September 6th.
Yeah, we're super excited to have you up here. We we do a lot of, obviously we have local bands, regional bands, but we want to bring, something people haven't seen yet or seen before. A lot of our local music scene, we have a lot of the same bands play, and we want to do more than that. So we're super excited to bring original music and to bring someone from our region, not necessarily from Mooresville, to the series. And I think people like that. I think people want to see a little something different. So we're super excited. You have some songs that are actually coming up that are going to be released August 30th. Tell me the name of that song.
That song is called Strings.
Awesome.
And I wrote that song in 5 minutes, to be honest with you, to open up the full band show for a show we did at the Windjammer a couple of years ago down in Charleston, South Carolina. And it was kind of my angry COVID song. So when I quit DNR in 2018, we hit the ground running. I'm traditional country. My twang is the real thing.
Yeah.
Contrary to critical belief, my accent is real.
I love that.
I hunt, fish, play golf, and play real country. So our fan base is a little bit different than, say, the mainstream as well. So if you like traditional country, you'll like what we're doing. On the contrary, I'm not a TikTok star. I mean, I've got all the social media platforms out there and a bunch of material. But having said that, when COVID hit, I lost everything because my income is 100% playing shows,
Right.
whether it's private parties, backyard, to big stages, and every honky-tonk from here to Texas. So when that happened, I said, my Lord, if I can ever get backstage and play a G chord on a guitar, I will play it till the strings come off and the lights go out.
Wow.
So that song we've played out, like a lot of our songs, we'll write a song and then play it during the shows because we're on the road so much just to see how it hits fans.
Right.
And everybody wanted that song, so it was kind of a no-brainer. So that one's coming out August 30th, and we just named it Strings. So
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I can't wait to hear it, obviously, at the September 6th show. And then we have another teaser. This one we actually have a clip for. So this song called Don't California My Carolina drops about mid-September. And I think we have a clip of this. Bill?
Please don't California my Carolina. Don't try to turn my red state blue. Leave your crazy politics behind you. You can
The first time I heard your voice, I just appreciate that traditional country so much. I love that because that, it's got that very like Garth Brooksy sound like that. I love that. Have you always sat, I'm sure, as you've evolved over your musical career, have you always just had that country voice?
There's a lot of things I can change, and my accent is not one of them. And I've been told it's, the pendulum is swinging, thankfully, I hope, because when I started doing this, there was really, I want to tread lightly because I got a lot of friends in Nashville that are they might be pop country or harder rock country. So when I started doing this, traditional twang was not in the cards at all. And but that's who I am, and that's my brand. I can't stray from it. And there's a lot of artists now, Zach Top being probably the main one right now, that's really bringing that 90s movement back. But we like to have a lot of influences regardless of what it is. But if I'm singing it, it's going to be country just from that.
So, you talk about influences. Who did you listen to growing up?
A lot of different artists, but steeped in 90s country. I was born in 92.
Yes.
I remember listening to cassette tapes of Dina Carter,
Oh, wow.
Alan Jackson, Shania Twain, obviously George Strait, and then moving on into my songwriting times. Eric Church is a big influence. I get that a lot as far as sounding like him. I don't try to. It comes out that way because being born in Statesville and being from the mountains, we're obviously geographically not too far apart.
Yeah.
But I definitely don't want people thinking, oh, this guy's just trying to go down the same path that's been blazed. That's definitely not what I'm trying to do. So
Sure.
Now,
Now, did you say born in Statesville?
I was born in Statesville, but I was only there for like 6 months. So I
Hey,
really
we'll
couldn't
claim
claim
you
it.
though, Iredell County. I feel like
There you
we
go.
should claim you.
Yeah,
That's
I've been.
pretty cool.
It would take a whiteboard and an expo marker to kind of track where I've been in the Carolinas just from living all over the place. My dad's a preacher in Winston-Salem. He's actually been there for probably a couple months now. So I'm hoping to pull a lot of fans from the Winston-Salem area that will be new to our brand and hopefully new to Mooresville on September 6th.
Yeah, and you've got parents that are from Concord, right?
I do.
Yeah.
I
So
actually I've killed my first deer in Concord.
You're just all over the Carolinas. I mean, no matter North Carolina through and through, right? That country.
Yes, ma'am.
I
Based
love
in
it.
South Carolina, and I like Texas a lot, but if it wasn't 22 or 24 hours away, then I'd probably spend a lot more time there too.
Wow, very cool. But from Cashiers, North Carolina, but not Cashiers. You call it Cashers.
Cashers.
See, I call it Cashiers, but it's
A lot
Cashers.
of people do, but yeah, Cashers. You'll get a lot of cred with the locals if you stick with Cashers.
Okay, Cashers, North Carolina. Living in South Carolina right now, I guess between Nashville and South Carolina. So you're recording predominantly in Nashville right now, right?
Right. As of right now, we are, just for anybody listening, we have a ton of music out right now we dropped our first album in 2021. And when COVID hit, everything kind of switched to the digital side of things. Obviously couldn't play shows. So there's a lot of music we have out there, a full album and 2 EPs out of Bennett's Point, South Carolina. Joe Taylor produced those. He's my guitar player that y'all will see on September 6th. And there are some awesome songs, so I encourage everybody to go check those out. And then we just switched to Nashville here recently, just because I've been riding up here a good bit, but covering a lot of miles, 20,000 in the last 4 months.
Wow, very cool. Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about, some of your music, songwriting. We have a break coming up, but I definitely want to get into more about that so people can know what to expect. So we will be right back with Andrew Beam after the break. I Heart Mooresville here on WSIC.
Don't try to turn my rich state blue. Leave your crazy politics behind you. You can sure bring those Baywatch blondes with you.
back with I Heart Mooresville here on WSIC News. We are talking to Andrew Beam, Nashville recording artist. Country music through and through. You'll hear the twang when you hear him talk. So, Andrew, tell me a little bit about where can people find the music that you have?
Our music's on every digital streaming platform. So Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon. There's a number of different stores. Spotify is generally the one. Spotify and Apple Music are the two bigger ones. But there's a lot of YouTube listeners, especially in my fan base, because a lot of people don't have Spotify. And being my fan base ranges from 8 to 80. I encourage everybody, I don't care what platform it is, go check it out, spread the word. We got a full-length album out called Selma by Sundown. There's 2 EPs out, and then we've been dropping singles here as of late about every 2 months.
I love that.
So, yeah, we definitely need, it would help us out being that we're doing things a little bit different and hitting the road. I feel like I'm one of the last troubadours out there, but the more the music is spread, then that will drive the shows.
Yeah. And I feel like most people have Spotify. I mean, Jaxon, do you have Spotify?
I'm not a Spotify guy. I'm more of Apple Music. Yeah.
So there we go.
So, okay, you're the younger generation. This is your younger demographic right here, Jaxon Cabe. So where do you other than Apple, is there anywhere else you listen to music?
So music-wise, I'm strictly Apple Music, but I would say majority of my friends are on Spotify. Some on that Prime Music. I don't know if you're on that as well.
Yeah, we're on Amazon.
Gotcha. Okay, nice. Well, yeah, I feel like that's where younger people, Apple, Amazon Prime. I'm definitely Spotify. Tidal. Is Tidal still a thing? I was on Tidal.
I think so, and I'm on there as well.
Yeah, I feel like, okay, good. Yep. And then, of course, YouTube as well. We that's I think where I listened to some of your music for the first time. So, lots of places to hear the music. You have a lot of music out too. I didn't even realize until I was, doing a little research before the show, how many songs that you have. I mean, you have an album, The Selma by Sundown. You have 2 EPs. I mean, you have a ton of music out right now.
We do. And back to the live show, we predominantly play originals, which is kind of strange for somebody in our situation. I mean, I make a living playing music. I own everything, and we hit it hard, whether it's in the studio or on the road. But a lot of artists don't necessarily have enough content or enough songs that are theirs to play a full show. So you get a lot of artists on the verge or up and coming who are playing clubs that are strictly covers.
Right.
And for us, we throw choice covers in there, especially it may not. I'm a huge fan, especially of 90s deep cuts.
Yeah.
So we throw a couple of those in the show. So, but I would say I encourage anybody to go check out, from a songwriting aspect, everything that we've got out there. And speaking of the younger generation, we just dropped a song about a month ago called Younger Man.
That's right. So I think we have a clip of that too. So before we play the clip, tell me a little bit about that song.
I've been very fortunate. I'm sure that my story is not too different from anybody else out there in the Carolinas, but I've had a lot of older mentors, whether it's hunting, fishing, music, life in general. And at an early age, I looked up to these mentors. I still do. Unfortunately, some of them are gone now, and it's very strange watching my heroes get old. But the one thing that they instilled in me as a joke early on was, man, getting old ain't for sissies.
Yeah.
And as I've heard that through my life, I'm 32 now, but I had a particular conversation with a friend of mine, and he said that. I said, man, that's what everybody tells me. And I just had that in my head. I wrote it down. And one of the goals that we try to do is not necessarily chase what is the trend right now, what's in. I want to write timeless music, and I want to write music that touches everybody from that nostalgic aspect, if they listen to the song, or something that if you turn on, they're like, dang, what is this? Even if you don't listen to it from a production standpoint.
Yeah.
So that song right there, I actually wrote. I was doing my QuickBooks at 6:30 in the morning, and it jumped all over me. And every song is different, but that was a solo write, and it's probably one of my favorite songs that I've written personally. The feedback's been really good on it, so I hope y'all enjoy it.
Oh, thank you. All right, I think we have a clip.
4 years, and here I am now, giving advice from the lost and found. It said, younger man, go fishing every chance you can. You can't go wrong by land. Never forget where it all began. You better put a ring on her hand. You have faith and be a good friend. When times get tough, just know there's a bigger plan. Younger man.
I love that. Yeah. It's definitely it's definitely one of my favorites. I love that song.
Yeah, it definitely has an Eric Church and Riley Green kind of sound to it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's 32 years worth of advice wrapped up in a melody. It's basically what that song is about. But
wow.
that one's been really cool, and it's one that even in the honky tonks, when it's a loud atmosphere, generally it catches people's ear, and they come up afterwards like, man, where can I find that? So that one is finally out. I encourage you to download it, spread the word, and you'll hear it live in Mooresville.
Great, that's so exciting. So you touched a little bit before we played the clip about your songwriting. What does that process look like?
Every one that I've written has been different, for sure. And some of them are in 5 minutes, like strings coming out. And there's ones that are still on my notepad that I have not lived yet or have not had the right room. And now, prior to that, we have a song called Country Song that dropped back in February that I wrote about my Walker Hound dog that actually adopted us.
Aww.
But that was the first song I had written in Tennessee. And there's a big Carolina group in Nashville as well. So that's kind of how things, I don't have any plans to move here. I love the network up here. I love recording here with Michael Funk, and just try to write as many songs as we can, because in business, I definitely want to diversify. I want songs out there that I'm not singing that I've had a pen in.
Yeah.
But up here's a little bit different, but I still enjoy hanging out. And I write songs different than a lot of people who live up here. So, and I get it. If you have a publishing deal, that's people's day-to-day job. They're writing songs every single day in a studio or an apartment. I want to go play golf and talk about a song. And that's generally, if I'm outside, whether it's on the front of a bass boat or up in a tree, I've written more songs that way as far as inspiration goes, but I try not to force anything that I write. If it happens, it happens. And the big difference is writing up here, I can get 3 or 4 way more creative minds than myself, and we can write a song in an hour that never existed before anybody walked in the room. That's really cool to see that happen.
Yeah.
And Murphy Elmore and I actually just wrote one where I'm going to finish it today, but that was kind of like, dang. I mean, I remember driving home like, that's insane. Like, that process is really cool. But as far as me personally, if I have an idea, I write it down. And I don't know when the inspiration is going to hit me, but I definitely don't chase it.
Very cool. I feel like I hear that from artists that, the best sometimes come at like 3 a.m. or, 6 a.m. while you're doing QuickBooks, right?
I've written a bunch of QuickBooks songs, and then ironically enough, I have a lot of ideas. Maybe it's because I like to fish so much, but anytime I'm near water, running water, getting into the shower, I've had more ideas. I've literally had to jump out the shower and find a notepad and write stuff down.
Okay, aspiring songwriters, you heard it. Get near water. That's what's going to get the creative juices flowing. So, we talked about your career, but tell me a little bit about, your personal Andrew Beam, married, kids, what does that life look like?
So, younger man, as you played it, I've never really reflected on this, but as you played the song, I was kind of like, dang, that's exactly where I'm at in my life right now.
Yeah.
I just got engaged, I say just a year ago.
Congrats.
So getting married in November, and no kids yet, but I would like to at least have, my goal is to get on tour with a bigger artist so we can effectively cover more ground, gain more fans, as opposed to sleeping in my truck driving all over the place to play a lot of solo stuff. And our full band gigs have been awesome, but I usually go out there on my own to break into a market, and then that leads to the bigger shows.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing is we just need everybody on board with it that likes the music and likes the brand. And but yeah, personally, that's where we're at. Getting married this year, excited about that. And if I'm not playing guitar, I get a lot of flack because a lot of people are like, man, what kind of tour are you going on? You going on the PGA tour or the tournament trail for fishing, or are you playing music? But that really is truly who I am. It has been, hence the game warden profession before I did this full time. So there's that is who I've been from the time I could walk.
Wow.
Is straight up outdoors. Golf's a fairly new endeavor, but it's been so dang hot and windy in the low country. So that's really why I've kind of gone towards that and not been on the water.
Well, we are just so excited to have you come in September. I think, people are going to see a great show. What can you say to the Mooresville community? What can people expect and are going to see at the September 6th show?
Stone cold country is exactly what you can expect to see. And the best part, just from the full band shows, from obviously my name is on it, but my band is killer. and you can expect to see some world-class musicians behind it. Just a countrypreneur going out there and trying to make this thing happen. I'm very fortunate that I've got these guys on stage with me, and so get ready to hear some insane guitar playing, and my rhythm section is unmatched. And matter of fact, my drummer is from Mooresville, North Carolina.
Yes.
So you got to give, or not from, he lives in Mooresville. We actually went to the same high school in Anderson, South Carolina, just
really
years apart. But Brian Compton is my spirit animal.
I think he could be a lot of people's spirit animal. I love that. Well, you heard it, countrypreneur. Bill, I think that might be our new word of the day. Countrypreneur. I love that. Well, we're super excited to have you. We're gonna have a great show. We hope to have a great turnout. Hopefully weather is gonna hold out for us.
Definitely.
It's been a little rainy.
It's been a lot rainy here in North Carolina recently.
What about in Nashville? Has it been raining up there?
It hasn't rained since I've been here, but I just got in town Sunday. But we just had that obviously hurricane come over Georgetown, South Carolina, so it's pretty saturated down back home. So.
Well, Hurricane Ernesto and all the Caribbean
Debbie.
Crazy Debbie we just had. They need to stay away. Let us have a nice couple weeks and give us a good September 6th because we want to have a great turnout and have a great show. Well, Andrew, thank you so much for joining us. And lastly, where can people go to find out, other than streaming services? What's your website?
The website's beamcountry.com. Go to Instagram. It's at beamcountry. If you look up Andrew Beam, it'll get you there. We also have merchandise online.
Okay.
I won't say what's on there. We sold out of a lot. We've got everything from turkey calls, pocket knives, and golf balls. But
all right.
A lot of that's already gone. But get a T-shirt, get a bumper sticker.
Okay.
You can find me on Beam Country, Andrew Beam. Look forward to seeing you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and thanks for listening. We'll be back next week. I Heart Mooresville.
You have faith and be a good friend.